We are back with another episode of the Four Quarter Talk podcast. I'm Josh Masogi, joined by
Marcus Baranauskas.
I ruined the weekly streak. I can't lie, I was out of action. I did everything I could to make it, but it just wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. Uh, yeah, so it was not load management, bro. I was injured. I was injured. But we're back now, and we're gonna get it back because we've got the playoffs coming up, literally the last week of the regular season, and it's exciting on both sides of the bracket. But before we get into all of that, we're gonna talk about a part of the bracket that isn't really interesting, but it's still notable news. With your Boston Celtics, Drew Holiday extension. Take the floor. How do you feel about it?
Uh, yeah, I think like when you get player like Jrue to extend, like it's very good thing. And like with his contract, his contribution, like he told today in the press conference that like it was easy decision because our whole organization like helped his own family and like he felt the love straight away. And I feel like with his contract, he's a good player. He still like will be valuable for like 2 years, and like in the future, if we need to move something, we have basically big contract to move if we need to. So obviously, I think I'm happy. But now I don't know how we'll try to get Derek White to stay because Derek White he's getting like everywhere else he goes, he gets paid, especially because of this season. Because this season he's been incredible. So
Yeah.
just that only one issue because I would love Derek White to stay, but like I feel like will be similar to
That 800
situation
million
where
players, bro.
I feel like this will be a situation where Nuggets were last summer when the Bruce Brown was big part of their win, and basically he got paid and he left. So I feel like we could have same situation with Derek White this season. So I'm not sure. Like, of course, but with Drew Holiday, I'm very happy because he's still very good defender and like he knows how to win and so I'm glad he extended.
Yeah, man. The CBA, bro, it is not like super teams, bro. It's not like super teams.
Oh, but I would have said like if you're not ready to build a good team, you shouldn't be owner of the Celtics.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, it's a big market team. You know what you expected. They've already shown that with the two top contracts that they're ready. They're ready to go. They're ready for that, and they have every reason to be. Your season has ended in May or June, like every season for as long as I can remember. Um, there's a bit of everyone's clowning about paying him that much at 36 and or oh he made that signing now before the playoffs because he knows what's coming. But we know what's up. You know it's something that you had to do. And when you're in the Celtics situation, you can't worry about the future. You can't. The Celtics are trying to win this June at the end of the day.
yeah.
So that there's not much more to it. And then just on the basketball side, it just makes a lot of sense. You've got this core with you now, and why not invest in it? And we've seen from recent years that like the narrative of an immovable contract is just like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's gone. Even
Every
with
single
the even with no trade clause, like it's everything's possible.
if Bradley Bill can be moved, everyone can be moved.
Yeah,
Every
exactly.
like Russ got moved how many times when they said unmovable contract? John Wall got moved. Everyone can be moved, and you have a front office there that they know what they're doing. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
like Brad Stevens, I feel like one of the smartest people in the whole NBA, because the deals he done like since he been in the office. So it's like I fully have trust in Brad to do everything that he needs to do.
yeah, and that's the type of thing that kind of goes a long way that people don't realize. Like, yeah, you could wait till the summer and see how he performs, but having that when you already know that you've locked up first seed and you've probably locked up home court advantage for the whole playoffs.
Yeah, we did.
So going into playoffs with that type of boost as well, knowing that they've just invested in, you can relax. Okay, I've got my contract. I'm good. I'm part of this team. There's no questions. There's nothing hovering around over this team. It's all strictly basketball, and we know that we've got a common goal. We're going into the playoffs knowing every single person on this roster is here to win, and they're not thinking about this summer. They're not thinking about having to move their family again or anything like that. It's just strictly
Maybe Derek White has, but
maybe
we'll
Derek White.
see.
Maybe Derek White. You can't have there's a bit of turnover in every team at the end of the day. You can't get
Yeah.
rid of everything, but hey, that's why they're in a win now. They're in win now mode as much as any team is in win now mode. So yeah, that's what this deal kind of reflects and represents. Um, but yeah, switching over to the other team in a top two position at least right now. I mean, by the time this comes out, it might not be, but the the Milwaukee Bucks, they've we've talked about them. It's pretty much since they've got Doc Rivers, they've been on a downward spiral. We don't have to. I mean, he keeps giving us material every week, so maybe we do have to keep going into what he kind of represents. But they are still continuing to spiral, and now Giannis's injury, at least it looked pretty scary, and he's at least from what we've been told, he's escaped a serious injury. So he's got the calf thing. He's day to day, kind of going to the playoffs. So he avoided an Achilles injury. But I don't know, man. I just feel like the Bucks, man. They're just ready to be just they're just ready to lay
Yeah,
down.
especially when you look at the matchups they will get. Like I don't know because as you said, like they've been going a downward spiral, but like they they had very good few weeks, but at the moment they would play either Heat or Sixers. So I don't know because to be fair, like we can talk about matchups, but like at the moment we can't talk about East matchups because
No,
I don't know what's
no,
happening over there. But like
yeah.
yeah,
Spend like the last hour kind of going into how we're gonna navigate talking about the East, and it's like it's just crazy. It's crazy right now. Um, but yeah,
yeah,
just sticking on the Bucks though. What do you think? It's wild because Giannis and Dame are the X factors of all X factors. Like they could be done in 2 weeks, 2 3 weeks, but they could also be done in 2 3 months.
yeah,
It's just so weird. It's so strange. But when you when you got Doc Rivers leading, you gotta I gotta take the under, bro. I gotta take the under. If it's Doc Rivers,
yeah. I feel
uh
like a majority of people are saying that because of Doc Rivers. No, especially like, since he came in, I'm pretty sure they have um, below 500 record,
yep,
and
yep.
like the way he's speaking, like he
Bro, he
majority
throws
of the
someone
time
in
he
the
gives
bus.
blame to the
Every
players and not
single
he doesn't
person.
take responsibility for majority
Never.
of things. So I'm not sure. I'm not
No,
sure.
it's
And the whole
great.
team when, for example, when Giannis plays or he doesn't, like it's two completely different teams. Because when Giannis plays, I'm pretty sure I don't know who said it, but I saw that Giannis basically stops the flow of the team when like Dame, for example, because he's a not non-shooter. He'll try to go to the rim. So I'm not sure. Still, they probably second best team in the East, but like yeah, if I'm the Bucks fan, especially what before the Celtics game, they lost 4 games and it was against G League Grizzlies, 15 losses in a row, Raptors, then Wizards.
That Raptors game was rough, man.
Like, come
That
on, like,
losing that game was rough. Yeah,
yeah. So, like, I'm not sure about them.
yeah. I mean, they're pretty much only in the position they're in because of how they were playing before they signed up.
Yes.
The way Doc was able to just swoop in, take the All-Star game coaching, and literally just completely tank. Like yeah, I don't know. He took over like a $1 billion company, and now it's worth like 100 million. And he's like, yeah, I've uh, I've got $100 million company on my on my portfolio. Like, yeah, but it was worth a lot more before you got there. And who knows, man? We might be looking up in a year's time, and Giannis has had like 4 coaches in 4 years. Like,
Yeah, it's a very good possibility. I wouldn't be surprised because it's Doc. So and everyone knows Doc's history. So especially in the playoffs.
but he's early this time, man. He's already throwing players under the bus from like February. Like
Yeah,
he's not even
since he took over.
yeah, so it's a new thing every day. I don't know. There's not a coach that has more like quote quote memes than him. But yeah, that would be one to measure for to monitor for sure. All right, we're gonna now try to see how we're gonna go about
Try is a good word. Try.
the absolute
It's a mess.
mess of the East. Uh, just wow. I mean, the Celtics are the only team in the whole league that know what seed they'll be going into the playoffs, which is just
Yep.
crazy. That I mean, what are they? They've hit 60 now. They've hit 62. How many have they won already?
Uh, I don't even know now. We on 62.
Doesn't
Yeah.
even care anymore. He doesn't. He doesn't.
Literally, last together. Literally, I just don't care. Like, no.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
the rest of the
But
East is like
the rest of the
crazy.
East, I mean, the Bucks could. I mean, the Bucks could. Yeah, they could be 2 through 4. The Knicks can be 2 through 6. The Cavs can be 2 through 7. The Magic can be 3 through 8. The Pacers could be 3 through 8. The 76ers could be 5 through 8. He could be 5 through 8. Like it's nuts, bro. It's nuts. And then you've got the Bulls and Hawks who are just
Yep. They just there.
and the Hawks, man, like they just personify mid in a way that is actually scary. There's been I think if you look at their record over the last like 20 years, it's almost like even.
Yeah.
This season's almost even. The last few seasons, like take any time period and it's even somehow. Like they're so mid that it's like it's kind of scary. You have to actually admire that type of consistency. But um,
To be fair, they didn't have Trey Young for a while, like second half of the season. So it's like, kind of, yeah, I understand because he just came back yesterday. So
there's just no
understandable. Well,
to be
yeah,
fairs.
but they just mid. They
There's
always
no
mid.
to be fairs when they've been this way for like 30 years.
Yeah, that's
there's,
true.
there's no context, bro. Like
Yeah,
there's been I don't know how many players involved, how many different players, like how many different lineups, different starting fives, different rotations, different owners, different GMs, different coaches. Like it's just like you just have to
yeah.
admire, respect it at this point. It feels like every other game that like Trey Young or Murray are like auditioning for their next team. It's crazy. It really is crazy. Um, and then with the Bulls, like I mean, RIP to my boy Jack, man. About bro, your prediction about about them being on the up,
Not the bright future.
not a bright future at all, my friend. Not a bright future at all. And I just I'm happy he didn't have to see that alley-oop.
That alley oop is like that alley oop been replayed in generations to come. Like that alley oop was something special.
No, that was that was truly special. That was at some 2K. That was at some 2K shit where like the
It's like
CP.
probably no, it's not even 2K. It's like NBA Live at that point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. And wow, just wow. But yeah, I probably will not mention the Bulls or Hawks again like this year, to be honest with you.
Unless they make the playoffs somehow.
Uh,
Like it's only our option, only option. Like if we can talk
there's no
about them.
promises from me. There's no promises from me that I'll talk about them if they're in the playoffs either. I might just give to be honest with you. But yeah. But the rest of the East is just insane. Um, I guess we'll start near the top. We were just talking about the Bucks, but yeah, they've got a few teams on their tail, fighting for that second seed, with the Knicks and the Cavs. Um, You had some to say.
One thing I would say that Bucks are just super lucky because every time they lost, Cavs lost as well. So like there was like and Cavs lost such a winnable games. So it's like insane. Like Cavs easily could have been second seed, but they just said nah with the ones. So and now it's like three-way tie basically for the second
Yeah.
two-way fight.
Yeah. Do you think that? Well, okay. So the Bucks are kind of riding the coattails of the first half of the season, for their standing right now. But
Yeah.
with the way the Knicks are performing, with their chemistry, with the Villanova Knicks, with Brunson, Hart, and like they're they're going crazy right now. Do you do you think the Bucks are still the second best team in the league?
If Julius Randle was healthy, I would say Knicks, but it's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
Bucks.
that
I think that Julius Randle missing out is a big loss for the Knicks.
for sure, for sure.
I feel like if Randall was there, I think Knicks would be second and they would be clear like second now. But like, yeah, you have to go with Bucks. When you
Yeah,
have the
you do,
players, but you
you
have
do.
Dame and
It
Giannis, you
boils down,
just
yeah, in the playoffs, it boils down to who are your best players,
yeah,
and
exactly.
Bucks comfortably have the top two players.
Yeah.
Well, you could make
Probably majority of
an
the
argument for
series.
Brunson over Dame.
Yeah.
You could this
This
season,
season, yeah. This
this
season, yeah.
season, this season you could. But the Knicks, they're just nice. It's nice to see the Knicks like this. You're having people stepping up from like DiVincenzo. He's never looked as comfortable. This comfortable.
DiVincenzo, he's been
DiVincenzo's
insane last few weeks.
he's going crazy, and it's like it's getting to a point where it's like you can't even say sample size anymore with how long he's holding this up for. Isaiah Hartenstein or Hartenstein and Grimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Stephen A. Shout out to Stephen A.
Yes.
Big fan in the world. Um, but yeah, they just look like a team built for it. I just do
But
worry.
for me, one big issue with the Knicks, Tibbs will play the starters
That's
48
exactly what I was
minutes.
about to say. That's literally about what I was
He'll
about to
play
say.
his starters 48 minutes, and
That's
like
what
that will catch up with the players. That's the thing.
it's gonna
That's
catch up.
100%. Yeah,
And it's sad because there'll be that one player in the game 7 that doesn't show up because he's absolutely shattered,
yeah.
and they'll say he's just a playoff choker when really his gas tank is just completely gone from playing 48 minutes against the Pistons in February.
Back to back games,
Yeah, that is pretty nasty. And as
especially
much
like especially in the playoffs, it's gonna be intensity was gonna be insane. You're playing basically every 2 3 days, and it's like yeah, and especially if you get like hard first round matchup, starters will play 42 minutes easily, especially like for Knicks. And even if they get like third seed, they will probably play like someone like Magic. Magic defensive very good, and like it's like I don't know, like yeah, it's just Tibbs being Tibbs and starts playing 48 minutes. That's the biggest thing
it
for the
is
Knicks.
just tough. It is hard. It is hard to rely on a undersized player. Um, it just make it like physically as well with the bodies that they're gonna throw at Brunson, especially because he doesn't have Randall to offset that as well. Um, yeah, it's just injuries. Injuries is probably gonna derail their season, which is sad. Um, I don't know. What other teams do you so the 76ers, they're kind of sitting there and it's like um with Embiid, you don't know what Embiid you're getting because he has just been thrown into the mix, but you can't completely count him out. But in a way, it's
It
like
depends who. It depends on the matchup. I think it all depends on the matchup. If they get Embiid favorable matchup, then yeah. But even Embiid said like he's not feeling 100%, and he doesn't like. Of course, yeah, he's been cooking since he came back. He's averaged like 28 points and like 10 rebounds. But like it's March, it's April.
yeah, it's
It's
different.
completely different. Whereas like come to playoff time, it's completely different intensity and like
Oh, they are going
Embiid,
to target. They're going to target him on a different level defensively because they know they're going to test that. It's a playoff
yep,
series. They are going to test that knee and be like, "Are
yep,
you healthy? All right, let's see, let's see." And it's not going to go
and
over.
maybe some tests that need different ways. So it's like you
Yeah,
never know who you're playing. So
yeah,
like
yeah.
it could happen. Same thing when it happened when he got the injury. He got literally fighting for the ball. He falls because he always loves to fall, and someone trips and falls on his leg, and he's done again. It's like you never know. Anything can happen, but like, yeah,
And then
it's
what? He was just re-injured like a couple, like what, 2 games ago, right?
yeah,
Or a game. Like
yeah, something happened, yeah, again. So it's
he's
like,
just always in an awkward. You just get those players that just always because basketball is a really unpredictable game physically. The worst injury you can possibly get is like an injury that like the worst position you can put yourself in are positions that you probably put yourself in every single game.
yeah,
But some players, it just seems that they just find a way to always be in an awkward position. I don't know if it's just their muscle memory. Maybe it's because he started basketball so late, so he just doesn't have like the right basketball like muscle memory. But his landing, his like everything, his placement, it's just always like much was
it's
made
very
of
awkward. Everything is more
like
awkward
when
when he's
Zion
landing
first
the
came
ball.
into the league, when Zion came into the league and they were saying, "Oh, we're gonna teach him how to like walk and run again." Like, a lot of people found that funny, and it does sound funny just normally, but it is a thing that people have to learn how to do things. It's quite intentional, and if you're playing since you're a kid, then it's just there. But when you start later, or your body develops in a like Zion, your body develops like in a crazy way. You do have to like readjust and learn how to do those things. Like when I went through different injuries, like I had to start doing like death drops where I'm learning how to land properly because the like you put your body in such vulnerable positions in basketball. It's like the only sport where you go in like every direction.
Yeah,
Like there's a lot of like lateral movement. You're jumping up and down as well, and it's on hard floor. So it's like, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if you want to throw Embiid into that type of mix. I guess you don't have a choice, but I don't know, man. It's just he's just kind of being you're just set, he's pretty much set up for failure, man. I'll be honest.
unfortunately, because when he's healthy, he can be unstoppable, and like, but unfortunately, all the injuries he's been like through, so it's like,
Yeah.
and I feel like every single postseason he's been injured. I feel like
Yeah.
only in the bubble he was healthy
Mhm.
and still got swept.
Yeah, but that it was only that and then Ben Simmons was out. So it's like injury has affected like pretty much every playoffs that
Yeah,
he's had.
literally. So it's like,
Yeah. It's tough, man. That's why he dropped to third.
yep.
So yeah, it's tough. That's just how it goes, man. Um yeah, we mentioned the Magic. They just have that kind of when you're a team that's built on something that's as dependable as defense, like your ceiling is fairly high because there's no off night with defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have that there, they have that in place. Jonathan Isaac is continuing to kind of get back there, and that is like the perfect type of thing to have for a playoff series is knowing that we've got our guy that can consistently make it difficult for the best wings. That's probably one of the most
Then you
valuable.
have Jalen Suggs this season, who's been animal
Yeah,
on defense.
no, for sure, for sure. Their whole team, they've got a lot of defensive assets, but I'm saying this league, as much as over time, there's been swings, whether it's point guards being very like a lot of high level point guards or a lot of high level bigs. But when you really boil it down, a lot of championship teams have very good wings.
Yeah,
And
I
so
feel like
having a
you need it.
defender is like is a huge like that's a huge asset to have and a huge X factor to have. So they take that going into any matchup as well. Um the Pacers, I
I don't know what to say about Pacers as well. Like, yeah, I feel like just because Halliburton being his shooting being down recently, it's like that's
yeah.
very difficult. So I'm not sure, but like Pacers, like I feel like every single team would want to play Pacers in any rounds. So it's
For,
like,
for sure.
yeah, Siakam definitely helped them, like added that a bit edge to them, but like still isn't. I don't think any of the teams fear Pacers.
Nah, no one's scared of the Pacers, man. No one's scared of the Pacers. Uh, and then
Then
what? Yeah, the Cavs.
Cavs
Yeah.
with Cavs, I know a few Cavs fans, and they hate the point guard because he doesn't play well. Garland being very mid recently, and you don't have Donovan Mitchell as well, so it's like he's probably, especially he probably leaves when his contract finishes.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like
I,
that's even
that
worse
is
for
true.
Cavs fans. Like Cavs,
He's had
I'm not sure
from me.
if they get Donovan Mitchell, they can do something. If they get healthy and like good Donovan Mitchell, he can do something. 100%.
Yeah, I feel like in his mind he's already like a Nick or something.
I wouldn't say Nick. I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of free agents in the summer, hey, San Antonio, do you need me?
Oh
Because I
yeah.
feel like they have a
Oh
lot of money and opportunity to play with them. Be like, come on.
yeah. I think we're starting to see, and we'll talk about that next week. When we talk about kind of end of season awards and everything. Um, I know conventionally, of course, the Timberwolves being one of the best defenses and Gobert, but Wemby's like you can visibly see players that like this doesn't count as a block, but the fact that they don't even want to do a 3-on-1 fast break, like it's scary, bro. It's scary. Like these NBA players are scared. And then you seen the
Not all of them, but majority definitely scared.
well, you seen the Christian Brown one where he avoided the rim in the clutch moments and passed it off. But then yesterday or the day before against Gobert, he dunked on him. Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, let's say Christian Brown just ended the defensive player of the year debate. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. So yeah, I know like a few Knicks fans were debating because OG wants a lot of money now, and I said, oh, if you got paying him, I can see Spurs literally paying whatever he wants and playing next to Wemby, and that would be insane. Like to have Wemby and then you have OG on the wings, like
And to be honest, man, like Wemby off a minutes restriction, bro. Like I when I've watched Wemby play and I see like the things that he's doing, I'm like, this guy might be an MVP level player in like a season or two, man.
the thing is, like every single fan base now, hey, best player, we need to win ring now
Yeah.
because he's
Bro,
coming.
that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Everyone's like, we were having a discussion the other week about the Thunder, and it was like, oh yeah, we have such a bright future and everything, and like, oh, but I don't want to hear that, man. I've been through this before. The 2012 Thunder, like, bro, they made the everyone's 22 and 23, and they made the finals. Like, we'll be back, and it doesn't work like that, man. So it's like, look, we let's not
Yeah,
waste the 55 win season, please. Like, I'm sure
yeah.
the Celtics as well. Like, it's just yeah, it's bro, it's scary. But anyway, since we are talking about the West now, we might as well make that switch over.
Well, we
Uh,
can talk about the he mentioned Heat as well, but like,
oh right, yeah, no, I forgot. Yeah,
yeah,
the
Heat.
Heat. I don't know. Do they have that same fear factor
The
to
thing
you?
is, everyone knows that oh, Jimmy Butler, he'll do it playoffs, but usually he started in March,
Oh, he
April.
starts earlier than this, man.
And
Normally
now
he's going in
where
with like,
he's
yeah,
still where?
yeah. Where is he, man?
Like that's the thing. You can't just oh yeah, first playoff playing game. Like I will start like
Nah,
so
that's not
and
how it happens. I know
exactly.
everyone brings up that they lost that first playing game, but as someone that picked up Jimmy Butler in fantasy in March last year, like he was putting up MVP numbers for like a month before the
Yeah,
playoffs, man.
exactly. And right
It's,
now it's like no one
it was
literally
not a
talks
flip
about
switch.
Butler.
Yeah, it was not a flip switch mid playoffs, man. So this might be the year that they might just flip it too late
Yeah.
or try to.
And what Bam had like 8 points like yesterday when they need like or last game where they need to win or like yeah.
Yeah.
But they still have random players that will kill anyone, especially Celtics.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we
yeah,
still see which player's just gonna turn into like
Jaime
another all.
Jaquez.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really know. Um, I mean, it would be funny. It would be cool just to see that 1-8 with with your Celtics, just for the story of it, and
The
maybe
thing
just
is,
see.
there's two good 1-8. There's Sixers and Miami potential to be eight.
Yeah, but I know that
But I
you
feel
like.
like the Heat will be more fun because of history,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
playoff
because
history.
the Celtics Sixers, we've seen this. We've seen the Heat story before, but the Heat story is actually a good. Like we actually want to see
Yeah,
good.
it's really yeah.
Like we don't want to see like I don't. Me personally, man, I don't want to like just watch like a hammer and a nail for like 2 hours, bro. Like I'm not feeling that, man. Especially with Embiid hurt, like come on, man. Like nah, we're good. Okay, so now let's go over to the West. It's a little bit more like settled, I guess. Like there's more movement of like it's actually one through, what I mean, every like no seed is completely secured yet, but at the same time it's kind of a bit more sectioned.
Yeah,
Uh and we also have we've got a confirmed matchup as well within the West. So, but we'll talk about that at the end. So let's start up top. We've got that 1 through 3 that has pretty much been that 1 through 3 for the whole season.
yeah,
Uh, it's had a lot of MVP implications. It's had yeah, just a ton of different implications throughout. It's been that story where we just pretty much we look at the table and we're expecting it to be either the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, or the Thunder first. And now it is looking like it's probably the Thunder are probably going to be third, um, because they've had to rest Shea and J Dub over the last like couple weeks now. Um, so I've kind of given it in. It's been like it's been a period of because most of the season was you know, just completely exceeding expectations. I already had expectations that we would be like I thought I was crazy for thinking we were gonna be a home court advantage team. And now it's like almost disappointing to be third. But um yeah, gotta put it in perspective. I think this is the third winningest season in Thunder history, which doesn't sound crazy, but because it's only I think a 15-year history, but considering the fact that in that history there's countless conference finals appearances, a finals appearance. So that is quite a feat. Um, but yeah, I think in the West you're seeing a little bit more of that seeding gymnastics of do we want this matchup? And I'll put my hands up and say that there are teams clearly avoiding the Lakers in the first round.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, with the Timberwolves, well, yeah, with the Timberwolves and Nuggets, the Nuggets, they made it clear when they declined the White House visit that they want that first seed, and it's getting real interesting now. Similar to what you were saying with I think it was the Knicks and the Heat. They are there's it's weird. I kind of already conceded the third seed, but then the games that we lost with the with Shea and J-Dub out, those two teams also lost their games as well. So yeah, it's been funny. I don't know. I don't know if it's intentional. I don't know if it's yeah, it's just it's a real weird space to be, I think.
Yeah, is I feel like it's gonna finish like it is right now, like Nuggets, Timberwolves, and Thunder. Not gonna lie, I feel like that's the best outcome for a neutral fan because all like matches would be very
Yeah,
interesting. So
no,
it's like I feel like yeah, I feel like 1 through 3 set already. So it's like
yeah, pretty
nothing
much.
too crazy.
All but officially, it's basically set. And to be honest, I think that would be perfect, man. I think that would be perfect. Uh, I would love, as an OKC fan, I would love a Thunder versus Kings series would be real fun. Like with those two home, like those fan bases, because I think the OKC fan base would go just as crazy as the Kings one did.
Yeah.
So you'll just have every arena, like every game of that series, it will just be the atmosphere will be insane. Um, and then I guess OKC Suns would be pretty cool as well. Just the story of that with KD. KD's actually been talking a lot about the Thunder recently. But yeah, that would be kind of cool because it'd be possible, I guess, to have OKC play the Suns in the first round and the Clippers in the second. So it's kind of like that rite of passage where you got to play the old Thunder greats to get to, yeah, to make history on their side. So that would be cool. I didn't want the Lakers series because I mean they are just obviously our worst matchup, but bigger than that, I just Twitter would just be so annoying, bro. Like I just don't want everything involved with a Lakers series and having to deal with that. It's so annoying, bro. Like hearing the Lakers cry about free throws for a whole series when they, as a team, I don't know any team that's benefited from free throws as much as the Lakers has. Uh,
Oh, like Lakers being top of the free throws five
yeah,
every single season. So, yeah, and it's a ridiculous margin as well.
yeah, it is. It's just so shameless. It's so nasty. But yeah, a Nuggets Lakers first round would be pretty cool. Just to
I
see
feel
that.
like every single first round coming from the play-in, like 7, 8 seed will be very, very interesting.
Yeah,
So it's
and you
like
know
I feel
what?
like
I really,
basketball fans are
yeah.
so like they're lucky right now because all the matchup looks interesting. So
Bro, when I look at this graphic right now, because when you look at the East one, it's like there are a couple like polar bears in Arlington, Texas there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But when you look at this West one, like if you told someone last season, you're like, this is 1 through 10. It's like, I don't know, man. I think which I saw a tweet, it was like whichever team gets moved in an expansion is gonna be the luckiest team in the league, man.
yeah,
Because all of these teams are probably home court advantage level teams at their best. And two of them will not make the playoffs,
yeah.
which is crazy, man. It's
And then in the
actually
future you get Spurs and Rockets coming up as well.
you got the Spurs and Rockets, and you got the Grizzlies when Ja's healthy as well.
Oh yeah, literally all 15 teams could be
Going to be a
moved.
bloodbath, bro. It's
And
gonna be a
well,
blood.
then Jazz probably chill for a season or two, and so then
Yeah, when we get Laurie to come over to the Thunder, we'll just put them
yeah,
out there misery. Yeah. But you know what? I do have to keep saying, like, we'll probably say it again when they're previewing the play-in, but the play-in might be like that might be Adam Silver's like magnum opus, man, because like when there's no way that it would be this interesting at this point of the season without the play-in.
yeah.
Yeah. So we're just gonna go past the 4-5 because we're gonna talk about that later. Um, And yeah, that 6 through 10, that play-in race, that race to get out of the play-in, but also the play-in race, which is crazy because um yeah, the Pelicans and the Kings could finish 6 through 10, which
Yeah.
is crazy. And then the Suns could finish 6 through 9, and then you've got the Lakers and the Warriors that are kind of they've clinched playing, but they can't get any higher. So we'll start the Pelicans. We already spoke about how they've looked over the last few months and just even throughout the season, very balanced offensively and defensively. Zion's resurgence back. They'd be a very interesting team. We spoke before about how they'd be a scary matchup for the Clippers at the time when they were falling, but see now that can't happen. Um, how would how do you think they would match up with the teams that they could face? So they could face those top three teams basically.
I feel like I don't even know. It depends if Ingram is like fully healthy and back
Yeah,
and
for
playing
sure.
to his best. I feel that's the key. And probably then probably I would say Thunder is the best matchup. Not gonna lie,
Hmm.
because with Nuggets, like I feel like Nuggets are bad matchup to anyone because of the
Yeah, that is terrible
Jokic
matchup.
factor, and then Thunder is like Thunder. Their defense being incredible this season. It's like, yeah, of course you've been good defensively, but I would say still I would put Thunder defense, Timberwolves defense over yours, and like I feel that's a big part play against Ingram, Zion, and those. But on the Timberwolves, Cat is coming back, but you never know how healthy and how ready he is. So it's like, yeah, it's this playoffs is like mind blowing. I have no idea. Like you can say, oh, this is a good matchup, but then like it, it turns out it's not. So it's like
Yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna be eating from like we're gonna be eating from day one of the playoffs as well. I mean, the play in, day one of the play in, because normally it gets boring after. Well, not for me, not for us as like we're diehard fans, but for casuals at least, I'm sure not everyone wants to watch the first round of the playoffs. But this year, bro, this year is crazy. And then the Kings, they've they've been kind of disappointing this season, I would say.
especially last few weeks where they lost so many very easily winnable
They
games, and
should
they
have been.
if they win their games, they easily sitting alone in the sixth seed. But like I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like their late game management being terrible this season, and now Malik Monk is injured as well, which is I'm pretty sure I said before that Malik Monk would be X factor for the playoffs, and if he's injured, like yeah, I'm not sure. So that's the thing. They definitely need to do something in the summer because I feel like Kings will be the team, one or two teams that miss playoffs this year. So
That's the thing as well. In the West, bro, you are on the pressure is different because you can't stay the same. You have to get better.
yeah,
All these teams that we look and say they're having a disappointing season, they've improved
yeah,
from last season. But they like the Lakers have improved record wise, but they could finish outside the playoffs. So you now, as a GM in the West, you've got a challenge where you're gonna look at a 55 win team and you're gonna say, how do we get better so that we can make the playoffs? Like
insane.
it's crazy. It's crazy. The Suns have been, it doesn't matter whether you compare it or whatever, they've been just flat out disappointment. Um, and yeah, last game they won, but they won against the Clippers that had already like they're chilling now. But that game that they lost before that, pretty much entirely led by Russ and like I don't know, man. The Suns, I don't know, bro. We've had the talk already about them. Um, I'm not scared of them, bro. Like as an OKC fan, I really like. Of course, they've got the experience, and you've got KD and everything, but it's just not that in 2024, man. You just don't fear that, man. And D Book, like that was probably one of the most important games of the season, and D Book putting up like what how many did he
Game
score?
seven numbers.
Yeah, literally elimination game. If you don't know, if you're not familiar with his game, search up Devin Booker elimination stats.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's yeah, the Suns they're right on schedule. Um, and they were the ones seen as a super team coming into the season as well. So
They've been a
they've
lot of
been
people
trash.
said they would get home court advantage, so it's, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. They're just yeah. And then we've got Lakers and
Warriors.
Warriors. The teams that everyone's avoiding because they're just going to turn it up in the playoffs and just yeah, bro,
The thing is with Warriors, you never know. Like you still have Curry and
we
Clay can
we've
go
just
over
got
them.
we've got respect for them just of everything we've seen over the
Exactly.
years. Got respect for Kate for
Oh, you never know. Draymond Green can hit five 3 pointers in like fucking 10 minutes, so you never know.
that's crazy. But they only do it against that was against each other though. That was against each other. I would love to see them playing. I want to see that Lakers Warriors matchup in the playing again. That would be fun, man. That would be
Yeah,
real fun. We need that. Uh, and this is like is this the third or the fourth season of LeBron needing the play-in to get into the playoffs after trashing the play-in and saying that whoever came up with it needs to be
I'm pretty
fired?
sure when he trashed and then literally every single like, oh,
Yeah.
playing is good. Yeah, playing is actually decent.
But
Like
yeah,
good idea. Like
thank you for the playing. Thank you for the playing. But dude, shout out to Bron though. I'm loving his podcast with I'm loving his podcast with JJ Reddick, man. It's bro. There's some real gems in there for sure. But yeah, bro. I don't know, man. Um, do you like a lot? That's we do talk about. Yeah, they have the potential to kind of finish anywhere. But do you actually think that the Lakers or Warriors have like let's say conference finals?
oh,
Like
no chance.
I just think, as I keep saying, I think you have to trust this 82 game sample size. I think you can't expect the
Especially
same.
when you look at the first round matchup they're going against. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. And it's just a new guard now, man. And I don't think the Warriors have enough outside of stuff. Clay has come alive a little bit recently. Draymond, of course, just had his like I don't know. He looked like game 7 again, game 7 of the finals again. But I just I don't know. I think if any of them were able to make a run, it would just have me looking at the league differently, man. Because it's like what like those at that point, no one would even care about the regular season anymore.
yeah,
Because I just think you see trends over the season, and people are very slow to kind of accept the way the league is now. Like they're looking at these teams that they're not used to seeing up top, or maybe like the Thunder, they're a bit young. But this is just what the league is now moving forward. There's a lot of depth across the whole league, a lot of talent, and like these players that we're used to seeing that we grew up with, they're in their late 30s now. So that the reality of it is that the guard is changing. So I don't know what it's gonna take. I think everyone is just gonna have to learn the hard way. Everyone's gonna have to learn with a Jokic run, or I guess the Thunder are gonna have to make a run, or the Timberwolves before anyone respects them. But I just don't. For me personally, I think you see it and you can see how a team performs, how a player performs, and you just kind of know that they are like they're next up and they're ready. I mean, I didn't need last year's finals run from Jokic to appreciate how good of a player Jokic is.
all right.
We were
Somehow
talking
he
about this.
still gets disrespected. He still gets
Yeah,
disrespected. Like,
bro. You would think that he's not the reigning champ.
yeah,
It's crazy.
and not two-time MVP.
Yeah, it's so crazy, man. It's so crazy. That's why I'm not. We'll talk about of course, we'll talk about the MVP race, next episode most likely. But I don't even know where I've conceded Shea, of course, because the injuries and everything and how we slipped. But with Jokic and with Luca, um, it's real interesting for me, man. It's real interesting for me because the disrespect, but it's so weird, man. It's so weird. It's really weird. All right, I'm finally. Nah, like I didn't forget. Finally, we've got that 4-5 matchup that we alluded to, which is the first confirmed matchup between the Clippers and Mavs. I mean, we might have been able to. That's been a fixture of the league. I think the Clippers and Mavs and the Celtics and Heat. It's just something that you can stamp and say that we're gonna get like almost every season, and
Yeah,
we do have it again this time. But we got new characters in this matchup. Uh, Luca has hope this time. Luca has some hope.
yeah.
He's got by his side. The Clippers are down a little bit. They've got a few key injuries, but I mean that's nothing new for the Clippers at all. But I mean, how do you see the season? How do you see the series going, man?
Well, Luca always made it tough for the Clippers, like all the time. He's been cooking them like day in, day out. Like we all know how all the series went. But like now, as I said, he has proper help. And especially Kyrie been playing very, very well lately. And this series, like, is gonna be playoff P or is gonna be where speedo. So I
Yeah,
feel like
the chemistry with the Mavs is just crazy right now, man. Like I've never seen Luca look so happy to like he loves that. Like him and Kyrie, man, it's just a different type of connection. And even on Kyrie's side, as we've said before, he finally feels embraced by a franchise. There's no drama. There's no drama anymore. And it's like they just fit. They fit in a way that it's always a question when two kind of scoring guards come together, and it can go one or two ways. And with them, it just there just seems to be a next level synergy. Um, and their supporting pieces are starting to kind of pitch in as well. So I don't know. And then at the same time, you've got the Clippers who are kind of I don't know. I can't really say they're going in the wrong direction because it seems like since they've gotten Russ back, they've been back. They've been back. Like they've won.
I said it straight away when they got dipped. Russ was the key to all
Russ
of
was
this.
can't you cannot say anything. You can't say anything about like they're literally back on a I don't know if they're on a winning streak or but they've won like 9% of their last few games. I believe they're hooping. They're a different team when they've got Russ. They're a different team when they've got Russ. And yeah, like he's turned it up at the
Well,
right
they
time.
lost last game, but like last game didn't
And
matter.
they're real lost though.
Yeah.
Like they sat out all their players, but Bones Highland dropped like 37. Yeah,
Bones was yeah.
yeah, but yeah, they're just they're cooking right now. They're cooking right now. Russ, he finally, I mean, he's been on 198 triple doubles for the longest, and he's finally pushing for 200. Like he got his first start, and he got what 15, 16 and a 16. Like he's insane. But just I think it's come at the right time for them because they look like they were on a downward trajectory, but now kind of got a shot in the arm of energy to kind of take them into the playoffs. So we'll see how that works out for them in this series. But this is going to be real good hoops, man.
It's gonna
It's
be
gonna be,
cinema. It's gonna be cinema.
like we need it and we deserve it, man. It's like yeah, it was all the narratives were just trash coming out of these series before in the past. Whether it was hating on Luca for not getting it done when he had barely any help, or people saying that Luca is like their father when he's lost every series. Like it's
Yeah.
just on both sides, it's been terrible. And now there's kind of a chance to settle the score with an even playing field. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And yeah, you never know now because like I, I don't know. Yeah, as I said, it's gonna be such a good series because you said it before. Like Luca literally been torching them, and Clippers need that comeback because well, last time they've been struggling in the playoffs since they got B and everything, and now if I hope everyone is healthy in the series
yeah,
because
we need
when
everyone.
everyone will be healthy, I want
Right.
to see like Luca against Kawhi, like healthy Kawhi. That uh we need that. Right. We need definitely need that.
It's just all the names involved, it's everything involved, man. And I've just seen Ty Lue say he's already preparing. Of course, they're already preparing on the Mavs side too. But it's just cool. It would be cool to see that kind of element of both teams knowing what they're going into and seeing what comes out of that. Because
Yeah.
it's just gonna make it easier to really see how prepared these teams are because they both know what the matchup will be. So it'll be interesting to see how that game one goes. Um,
And then you got Mark Cuban against Steve Ballmer as well, like two
yeah.
like owners that like actually like always there, like involved with the team.
Right, right, right. Nah, that's gonna be a cool part of it as well. And there's a lot on the line. There's a lot to gain for the Mavs, with Luca, with Kyrie still looking to kind of have a dominant run, like in his career without Bron.
Yeah.
Luca looking to make that next step. Uh, and then on the Clippers, man, it's just like they're just kind of fighting for like they're going into a new arena next year, a new rebrand. Like, what are they gonna sell? But then just even on the career side, like Paul George is still we don't know where Paul George is gonna be next season.
I don't think he knows where he's gonna be. So
Yeah. It's been a thing for the whole season about is he gonna go? Is he gonna be a 76 or is he gonna be a Thunder? Apparently, I don't know about that one, but it's just kind of all over the place, and they refuse to commit. So you don't know where any of these. Russ only signed a 1 year deal.
Yeah,
Harden, no one ever knows where Harden's gonna be the next season. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot. It's a perfect first round matchup, man. And yeah, it's really gonna set the tone for the rest of the playoffs. And man, I'm looking forward to that for sure, man. I'm looking forward to that big time.
it's gonna be. I said it once, said it again. It's gonna be cinema.
But I just think that as interesting as everything is, the likelihood is it will be the Nuggets and the Celtics at the end.
Should be.
And I I don't know who I would go with in that scenario, to be honest with you.
I
So
hope it's not Nuggets, but probably it is Nuggets.
yeah. So but really like I just when I see Jokic play, I'm like, how does anyone crack this code, man?
Wait for Wemby.
Yeah.
Give Wemby 2 years.
I just wanna fit in that little window between like the dominance and Wemby.
Yeah.
Just steal a couple rings, man. Just steal a couple. I'm not just one. Just get one. Just get one. Uh, because yeah, it's looking scary, man. But um, yeah, this season, man, is it's been a great one, and it's been the one that we've been kind of waiting for since like the 2020, like recovering from 2020, because
Yeah.
we had that period where in September, you know, it's gonna be Warriors Cavs, and then COVID hit, and that was just its own thing where it's like I don't know how jarring it is to watch 2020 era basketball with like like 2K sounds and everything. Like it just feels like a fever dream. Um, but the 2020's ball has been pretty elite, man. And this season, like this is gonna be a special one. This is gonna be a special one.
Hopefully.
Yeah. If you're not a fan of this, I've seen people on Twitter or people on X saying that, oh, this is such a boring end to the season. I'm like, you're just not a fan of basketball, man.
How it can be boring when there's like looking now, like there's so many outcomes and everything. Like it's so right now it's very interesting ending because like what's gonna be the you don't know what's gonna be the outcome. Like that should be like intriguing and everything, but like I don't know.
Yeah, you just don't like basketball if you don't if
No,
this
it's
is
because it's Lakers and Warriors fans that are saying that probably.
yeah, because it's not there's no way to talk about LeBron's legacy or Curry's legacy, so it's just boring. Um we're finally back to the to where there's favorites, but there's still a lot of teams that can win. Like you have to show up and win, but before it was a foregone conclusion. Like you had to have KD and Clay suffer like career altering injuries in the same like week for
Yeah.
it to be a different outcome. So like yeah, we're back and we're gonna continue to cover it for sure. I really want to make a push, man. Like when you get into the playoffs, like hopefully got the time we can start really getting into covering series properly. But we won't get ahead of ourselves. We're gonna enjoy the end of this regular season, and we'll be back to preview the play-in hopefully. But with that, I'm Joshua Sophie,
Matas Baranauskas.
and that is a wrap for What's Up. Yeah.